Growing mushrooms, many people may find or think it's a challenge, but growing mushrooms can be very easy to do. And this segment is sponsored by NorthSpore.com.
NorthSpore is your source for edible mushroom spawn, supplies, and educational resources so you can grow your own mushrooms. First-time grower or commercial mushroom farm, NorthSpore is here for you. NorthSpore produces all of the spawn used at its facility. They make sawdust, plug, and grain spawn, and spray and grow kits. NorthSpore strives to be a community hub for fungi enthusiasts, a place where people learn to love mushrooms. Check them out at northspore.com. That's northspore.com. You can use the code GROW21 in all caps to get 10% off your order. Again, northspore.com, GROW21 coupon code. So gardening with mushrooms, there are many benefits and why you should.
Many people may think you have to have this dark, shady, musty, wet area in order to grow mushrooms, but that simply is kind of some degree of falsehood. You can grow them along your vegetables. You can grow them in partial shady areas or somewhat shady areas where other crops may not grow as well.
Right. So there's some benefits to that. You can utilize those shady, underused parts of your garden. Maybe you have a corner that you're like, I wish I could use this for something, but I can't. You can grow mushrooms there typically. And it's nice because they are a high protein food source. I know a lot of vegetarians and vegans do use mushrooms for like mushroom burgers or meat replacement mushroom steak, etc. So it is a high protein food source, and it does help decompose organic matter and add nutrients to the soil.
And how can we choose? How can we get started? Choosing a reliable species and a simple method is not as confusing as one may think.
Yeah, so NorthSpore really wants to provide, the best for their beginners, and wine cap and oyster mushrooms are great for beginners. They are resilient, they're adaptable, and they can tolerate a wide range of conditions, and you can use mushroom spawn, which is essentially the seeds of the mushroom. They're easy to find substrates, and you can mulch your garden paths, vegetable beds, and around perennials. So you can use them around the plants you already have.
Now, I don't want people to think, they're only talking about growing mushrooms outdoors. I can't grow them because I don't have an outdoor area to grow them in. NorthSpore's got that covered. Don't worry about it. They've got indoor growing kits, the spray and grow kits, advanced indoor growing kits. They've got the outdoor logs, the spawn, grain spawn, sawdust spawn, plug spawn. But I want to briefly touch on the indoor growing kits. They've got lion's mane, blue oyster, pink oyster, golden oyster, mushrooms, and it's just really easy. You keep them moist and very simple to do. There's videos on their website, and within 2 weeks you'll begin to see the mushrooms ping, and then that's the baby mushrooms, and you keep spraying and according to the instructions, and you'll be harvesting mushrooms within a few days.
The advanced indoor kits that you can get would include shiitake, reishi, king trumpets, chestnut mushrooms, namiko, or pio-pino. So that's definitely an option, is the indoor kits. So the substrate is what you grow the mushrooms in.
That's the soil, basically. The soil. I mean, in gardening world, the substrate is the soil medium.
Yep. So you use anything from hardwood chips, sawdust, straw, agricultural byproducts, such as like if you had access to rice or bean hulls, corn stalks. But the biggest thing most people grow in is the wood chips or the sawdust. So wine cap mushrooms, you don't typically find those in the grocery store.
I mean, and here's the thing. If you find mushrooms in the store, I mean, we all know the traditional button mushroom. Very familiar. They're not that appealing. They do what they need to do. And if you go to a specialty grocery store, you may find some of these higher end. I would classify them, to some people may think they're higher end. They're very expensive. So growing your own is a money saver, and the comparison that if you bought store-bought and you grow your own, there is no comparison from eating a freshly grown, cut it, eat it right away mushroom compared to a store-bought one that may have been harvested a few hours or days ago.
Right. So, so that's the freshness of the mushrooms. So a lot of people will grow them in the wood chips and the Sawdust.
Sawdust, yeah.
And the wine caps do grow quite large, so something to keep in mind.
Well, people may be wondering, what is a wine cap mushroom? I want to grow mushrooms, but I kind of want to know what they taste like. Well, wine caps have a taste of artichoke or an asparagus taste, which is not that, I think that tastes pretty good. And they can grow as large as a dinner plate, and they can tolerate a bit of sun exposure more than other species of mushrooms can.
Right. So they are more ideal for, I guess, everyone. You have that option as well. So the other mushroom you mentioned was the oyster ones, and those can be grown not just in the kids indoors but outside.
Right.
And they are brightly colored typically, and they're adaptable, so they can adapt to different temperatures and different substrates. And they are more meatier in texture and flavor, so it's more like a button mushroom. A lot of times, like those, and those are the white mushrooms that you find at the grocery store.
Now, I think we should make mention that when you create this substrate, this medium for these mushrooms to grow in, you may have other mushrooms grow in that substrate that you didn't plant there. Now, what needs to be known is you should not eat those mushrooms that are grown naturally. Only eat the ones that you are specifically growing for human consumption, because we know those are safe. I think that needs to be said.
Right, and that's definitely very important. The neat thing about mushrooms is that they're, depending on the variety, you can grow in basically all types of climates. There's ones for warmer climates and one for cooler climates, so that's an option too. You would have to, definitely look at the website at northspore.com. And you can kind of use, grow them within your mulch. So what you would do is you would, set the spawn about 3 to 5 inches deep into the soil, and then you would layer the mulch on top, and then you would have these mushrooms that would grow.
Yeah, you got to keep them moist. That's part of the growing process. So that is also important to note that, natural rain occurs, but many times we have to additionally add water in order to get these things to grow the way they're intended to grow.
And I think a lot of times people, set out to grow things like mushrooms or something new, and then maybe they don't find it as successful as they thought it was, or, they definitely fall in love with it. But northspore.com has different videos and all sorts of guides available. Resources so that you can find that success.
Yeah, they've got a frequently asked question on their tab, Mushrooms 101, Spawn, frequently asked question, Indoor Grow Kit, frequently asked questions, and so on and so on. So if you've got the question, they've got the answer, because they're wanting this to be as simple and successful as you possibly can, that they can possibly make it for you. And, many people think that, growing mushrooms, again, I mentioned that is a difficult, or that's not my thing. But you can do it, and do it very successfully, and impress your friends and your family by growing mushrooms, whether in your garden, outdoors, or indoors with the grow kits.
Right, and we've grown with other grow kits, and we had success with them. So if it's something that maybe you just want to like dip your toes in, you could definitely get one of those grow kits and grow them in your home, and enjoy those mushrooms there. You probably wouldn't want to grow wine cap mushrooms, as they do get quite large. I don't think they have an indoor grow kit for that, but the oyster mushrooms are definitely available.
Right, and very affordable too. So the website is northspore.com, and you use GROW21 in all caps to save 10% on your order, as many times you want to order, as big as the order is or as small as the order is. But it's something that we are seriously going to look into and exercise our available time with doing, especially if you can just grow them indoors in a controlled climate. That's the, I think that's the thing. If you're looking, hey, I want to try growing mushrooms, get a kit. Do it inside, understand the procedure, and then the benefit to the kits is whenever the kit is finished indoors, give it a round 2 outside. There's instructions on how to utilize it and break it apart and put it outside, and you can get more mushrooms out of that kit the second time around outdoors once you've grown them indoors.
Right. So again, that's northspore.com, code GROW21.
So if mushrooms are your thing, but also you want to know where your meat, you want spices and seasonings to go with your mushrooms and your kit and your dishes, Walton's Incorporated has all of that and more.
Yeah, Walton's Incorporated has everything that you need to use with your meat and also your vegetables for seasoning. But they also have a lot of equipment and seasoning supplies to make sausage, jerky, and any other meat product your way to your high standards. Do you want to make snack sticks that people will actually like? Walton's created meatgistics.com. It's an informational site to help you make the best finished product. Walton's even has a full line of their own meat grinders, mixers, and sausage stuffers. You can find all that information to go from animal to edible at waltonsinc.com. And again, meatgistics.com is to help educate people on how the hows and whys of meat processing as well.
Hey there, gardeners. Thanks for checking out this segment of the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show. If you like what you've seen, you can search through the channel and find full in-studio videos of the entire show. If you want to go another route, you can search for it on your favorite podcast platform by searching the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener radio show or the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show, and you can download it and take it with you. You can check out all past seasons at our website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, under the radio tabs at the top of the page. We thank you for joining us. We hope you've learned and enjoyed the show, the segment, and we'll see you next time.